suppose I should have done it earlier. I just wanted to record that. That's kind of cool. It's like the clouds now too. I was looking down and I had this the whole time. That was kind of cool though. This is Soda's green eye on her left eye, and it had a kind of a design like this. My drawing with the Sharpie is like not doing it justice. It was almost like a lot of like that kind of color. That's why they got a plane up there right now. It was a lot like that kind of like thing going on. It had a sort of a mother of pearl sort of thing, mostly blue with gray and stuff like that. She had green eyes. I'll probably write it in a second. It's a big deal because in those days everybody would look at each other's eyes like quite a bit, real intensely. It's like if you knew someone even fairly well, people would be like, okay, I want to study your eye. And if you had like nothing better to do, someone might just kind of like look at your eye or something like that, and they'd really pick through it. If it was me, they'd really want to pick through it. But people were like paranoid with me because they were always worried somebody would go, you know, because of my importance, that somebody might poke me or something like that. And so people were kind of like, you know, whoa, who are you? And how are you going to go about doing it? Usually people would have to do it with their hands behind their back. And with someone like watching and stuff. And there was a thing about tying people's hands behind their back so they could like look. And anyway, and then after a while it was just sort of like, there was sort of a gentleman's honor code or something that everybody had to abide by. And they would look at my eyes. I don't even look at them myself that much. I'm sure they're all over in Song and Story. The Soda's woman was like this. I believe she's Kathy Bates right now, so she would probably refer to this like quite a bit in Song and Story. And then, so, you know, and I don't know. So her pictures of her eye is in here somewhere. That I drew earlier. That was the last thing I drew. So why don't I do... Well, I'm a skywriter. I used to do this in Boston too. Which I was just saying, Boston I think was Corbett, or it was like Corbettville or something like that. That's not it. I thought I'd... Someone's got plenty of power. I forgot what it was called. It was like the water drops from the galaxy or something like that. I forgot what we called it. We had some kind of name for it. Here's some ones I did earlier. I don't know. It was like who knows it? There we go. This is someone else's eye. That's like the one chick that's Thurvest. This is Midia or Midila. That's her eye right there. Okay, all right. That's what I do. I'm a skywriter. This is in there was I sent to Gail, who's now Taylor Swift, a picture of the Swifts going in there and stuff. Unfortunately, I was putting stuff in mailboxes at the time. I wasn't like putting them out on here or there, and you know, specs. This is Soda's other eye. This is her right eye. It has a little speck to it. Big speck right there. Oh, isn't that pretty? It just totally goes with the whole thing. And then there's her doing the happy dance, which was like, like that after we like kissed, which was like totally how I was surprised by that because you know, I did that in imitation. She really looked like Bjork in the video, and I was really kind of surprised by that because kissing was like a really big deal for her. Me getting anywhere like near her mouth and stuff like that, and there was like a rule where I could like kind of kiss her on the on her like left lip just a little bit and get in. One time I got in there kind of close and she did push me. She did it a lot. She would like push me like this. She would just knock it off. I'm like, well, okay, can I try it again? Okay, you can do it just a little right there. You know, to get a little too close to the lips. Oh, okay, all right, you're getting pushed. You push me like that. Yeah, I was really happy because, you know, that's how, like, I wasn't expecting to react like that. That was a lot of fun. She was the washer girl on the ship, so, you know, all that stuff. There we are. Oh, wasn't that sweet? Oh, hey, there you go, girl. One time in my life, I want the thing to work. Well, I was like, you know, like 8 years old or something. Oh, isn't that pretty? I'm so glad I got the camera out. That one I messed up on. So, I don't know if that'll go out on a phone. It actually probably will. And here we are. Got kind of closer. It was almost more instinctual than anything else. I didn't know to get like kind of close. I just thought, gosh, we're like kissing, so I should get in. I move in like closer. This is what I wanted to do. And she was like kind of being philosophical about stuff, and I was literally just thinking, gosh, maybe I could, you know, touch her boobs again. You know, that's what I was mainly thinking. And get around here, I was thinking a lot of like, if I could get around to like her breast and like her stomach, like right here, her tummy, like right there, what would that kind of be like? And I thought, what if I got to her breast and I kind of moved down a little bit? She had a little bit of a bulge right there, and she had a little bulge on the armpit. She's Faith Hill, and she's Paula Cole, and she's oh hell, but Kate Winslet, that's it. That the other chick. Isn't that like the Titanic boat? It was a white boat. It was not. I was on it. It was not black. I used to bite it. I bit every bit. I bit every bit. I bit cable. I bit pole. I bit, you know, like poles that were like to keep you away from the side. My favorite was this painted metal that was sort of soft, just before you go into like the captain's quarters or something, or like inside the ship, and it like this little flap that was out, and I'd bite that. I bit just about. I had this compulsion to bite every bit of the thing. And there was even like somebody assigned to me at some point. I think it was actually serious. They were gonna do it. I don't think they ever quite got around to it though. Where they were gonna have somebody assigned to like make sure I didn't go around biting everything. I had this like compulsion to bite everything there. I bit the wood and stuff like that a little bit in cloth. The wood a little bit, but it wasn't as much fun. I was kind of used to that. The metal was just fascinating though, because the whole thing was like made of metal, you know. And there was like cloth. I'd get into biting cloth when I'd be like, I gotta bite something, and they'd be like, damn it, I don't know, bite the canvas over there or something, you know, like on that, you know, what they call those lounge chairs, or lawn chairs or whatever. And so I would bite the dang, you know, whatever. I'd bite the cloth and stuff. People would like laugh and stuff too. People would be like, they'd get up from like a lounge chair, and I was kind of like, you know, are you done with that? And they'd be like, be my guest. And I go over and start biting it, and they'd start laughing because I'd be holding on to the thing and I'd be biting it, not lying down on the thing. I'd be biting it, and I'd bite the wood, and I tried to bite the rivet nails. They had like little things like that in like the wood, you know. And I tried to get at that, and I couldn't. It would just drove me crazy. I could put my lips up to it and go, and these teeth, actually, they were my baby teeth at the time. To press on the things, but you know, damned if I couldn't bite one of those things. So, Mose, bite me. Do these? Okay, which one does it look like the most? I think it looks like that. Probably the most like right now. What do you all think? Look, there's a big giant rat. Just like you'd have on a ship. My gosh, the experience is rather authentic. Wow. Oh, there's another one. Actually, it's not a surprise. I've seen them like around here. There's like a whole bunch of them around here. You dirty rat. You killed my butter. That's James Cagney. That's Pops. He's that guy on Saturday Night Live right now. That's true. It's kind of like it, isn't it? What are you offering? I don't know. I'm a skywriter. This is what I do. Does it always work? I don't know. Not always. I don't really think about it a whole lot. See, it's like there. If you take it and you move it like right about there. So you can say things like Faith Hill and Paula Cole, and I could say Kate Winslet. I haven't figured out who else she is or has been or something like that. And then I could go, you know, you could go online and look at the news or the images or something, and it would be kind of like that. The thing is a lot of you aren't looking, so you'll do things later to promote things more. Look, it's like her hair. It's like China. She had like this hair tough stuff right there. It was like really thick, and it was really, it was interesting. It was like real close together, very thick and very kind of like wiry. And then her hair on the other side was like different. Some sort of like either a disease or something, or I think she kept joking about it so much she wouldn't like tell me exactly. So, well, that could be like one of them little boots. What are they called? Those Harbin boots. Herban boots. I think that's what they call them. It was almost more like it was almost sort of like Herman boots. Yep, those are one. There it is. Well, you'd have to go the opposite though. It'd be like right there. It's like not quite. Where's the one? There it is. Could this be the origin of Oregon? That's like the little bit in Oregon and stuff too. I mean, I think like Washington State. I don't know. I don't think it was the last time he was in my life. It was just like I always thought it was like the last time when he said goodbye though. Was Granddad Dad George Washington? Everybody, no kidding. Johnny Cash, Joaquin Phoenix now. Was I don't know, I think Long Island. It used to be Mozart. Here we go. I've done this before. They're making a mockery of my work. I'm a mockery. Well, they are. Look at this. With my blood, sweat, and toil, and well, maybe not the blood. I poured my sweat out and all that. Look at that. Well, they're making a mockery out of my work. Throwing mud on my good name. Throwing mud and then dirt on my good name. The mud, the blood, and the beer. They're throwing it on my name, wouldn't they? Make a mockery of my work. It was like Averdenti or Avedenta or something like that. I think it was like that. I used to bite the Titanic, and it was like, this is like anti-dentite, Seinfeld kind of thing. It's also the John Voight thing, you know, you're on a voyage, and John, my middle name's John, and it's like John's like water. It's also like where they had the ladder. Later they had it like here. I think most of the time we used it, I think the first time we used it here, there was something unstable about it here, so they decided to go like that way. And it was like not good for the wood or something like that for some reason. But it was just like for my safety, you know, they were like, I think you can make an exception. I don't know what the mechanics were about the whole thing. They worked on it over here too. It was like, they were kind of serious about it. So, I'm not sure, she might actually be Angela Jolie, although I thought she was like this girl that I knew at the school one time. So I don't know. And she did that movie about all this, so. Oregon. Happening again. I got swish, swish, this, Oron. Yeah. I got my shirt. I was making a big deal about that. I was actually trying to impress, Midiala or whatever. You know, I always had to remind her what my name was, and what her name was, and she'd get like really mad about that. Oh, that's like the Seinfeld. We're just talking about Seinfeld. Wow. What are the odds? Jeez. You know, with me, it's, so I was trying to actually like impress her by saying that like over and over again, and then when she said, all right, enough with the shirt already, and I was just like, oh yeah, how am I going to impress her? And I was just like, I know, I'll impress her with, I'll impress her with, saying, now I got it on my pants. You know, that'll, now there's a catch for you. So that's what I did. The other girl was, she's like the guitar girl for Heart. She's in, she is that girl. And then she's also stars in Titanic, the redhead. She had amber eyes. She was redheaded and she had amber eyes. It was like rare. She'd go, I think I heard it's unique. I don't know, and I think it is. That's what I read today, is that it is unique. She was like, I think it's special or something. That's what somebody told me, but I don't know. Like some gypsy woman or something. These women are always going to see gypsies and then get ripped off or something like that, and they complain about it, and they go off and see another gypsy. Then there's Kate Winslet, who's, you know, in the middle ship there, and then you have who's um, my damn it, Midila, and then you have Kathy Bates as who's like Soda. Was her real name like Soda? I think it was. I think it was just Soda. I kind of think, you know, something more to it than that, and I don't know. I met with my biological mom, Kate Seagal. It was just like, and I remembered earlier, I was out in front of Powell's, and it's out there recorded, no matter what people tell you, you gotta demand it. What her name was, it was like Sojo or Sijo or something like that, or I think it was more like Sonjanjia. It's so close to Sanja that it must not be right. It seemed like everybody had a lot of names like that, but the thing is that she's like you know, Lebanese Jewish, so, you know, Arab kind of thing. So I don't know. I don't think so. It might not be so Swedish, you know. Everybody there was like Swedish though. Or just about. I mean, there was a lot of people there that were like Swedish. See, there's like the eye specs. I didn't even think. See, I don't think about this stuff until I like write about it. There's a amber. See, I'm just now thinking of that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, there's homes, and some people want me to have one, and some people don't. I guess it's part of my therapy. Jeez, good luck with that. Stuff I'm writing about now is like either 1600s or it's like 1700s. I don't even know when. And, you know, it's just like it hasn't worked yet, but it's just like I think for a long time it was like, who cares if the thing works? We'll just torture him into some sort of weird submission. And it's just like, you know what? Maybe it doesn't work because it doesn't work. I was talking about my Bob Hope friend, Paul Revere, and that I had way back in the day. See, you need to get the case for that. Right, or something. And I waited by a ship for a girl in case they got off work. There was mainly it was. I talked to the other girls, I think, a little bit. I didn't really talk to Midila, who was like busy doing some kind of work on the ship, and they were kind of almost about like subtle. And I waited and waited, and he was just sort of like, you know, he got over there, and he was just like, you know, the bow, I guess is what they call it, would be like right here. I guess I'd be like right about here, and let's just say it overhangs a little bit, like so, like they're supposed to, or whatever. And he was happening by like here, and I said. He was like, aren't you gonna go run around with me and never have time for me anymore? You're busy with this, that, and the other thing. And he was like, that's fine. You know, he was like, that's all right and everything, but it's just like, you'd rather wait here for some girl. That's more important than like pal around with your old buddy. And I was just sort of like, you know, is this a question? Is this a trick question? You know, no, really. I was just sort of like, what else am I gonna do? You know, yeah, but just for the off chance that she might get off and that I could. See her. It was also like late in the afternoon, and usually if you were working like late in the afternoon, you would have to work almost usually like well into the evening on whatever project you had. And so there was like about just close to no chance that she would be able to spend any time with me. Sometimes she could spend like, you know, 20 minutes or something like that, maybe not even that. And that time, and I think it had been for about 4 or 5 days before, I don't think I'd spent much time with her. And then I think even up to about 3 or 4 days afterwards. But it was just like I would have rather just waited there for her than pal around with one of my friends. It's just kind of how I am. Little parts of the ship. That's called the butt. The part that goes out and sticks way out like that. That's what that's called. That's the shift or something, I think. I forgot what the other stuff is. there was the figurehead. I think they used to call it the swell, or the swells, or the tits or something. I think it was something like that. Most of the figures they had at the time were like these small little basically kind of cheap things. It was not the art that it used to be. It was getting more commercial at the time, and they were starting to get captains that were actually like qualified captains, not, some rich, kid that was, doped out on opium all the time or something. Knew nothing about being a captain. And so yeah, and I was just kind of like, what's? And he was like getting ready to walk away, I think, or something. He like kind of stepped back and he kind of waited there for about half a minute or so. Just kind of stood there with me. I was like here, or something, and he was like over here, and he kind of looked over here, and he kind of looked over there or something, and he was like, you know what? That might actually be all right. That might actually be all right. You know what you want, and you wait for it. And if she's he was like, I don't know. If she's gonna be there, she's gonna be there. She's not, she's not. And it was like, that might actually be all right. That might actually be all right. Actually, I think we were there. I think he like walked off, and I said something. I think I asked him a question about something, because I wanted to be social, but I think he wanted to run around and stuff. And I asked him something about the little piece that goes
Matt Power
on the thing, the shifter. What's that called? On the thing, there's a shifter, and the very end of it's the butt, and that's on the bow. And then there's the back of the ship, which is called the back of the ship, and then there's port and starboard is one or the other, I think, and a bunch of stuff like that. It wasn't port; it was like more like porter, I think. That's what they used to call it. Porter, powder. Then somebody called it pater, powder, things like that. People have like different names for it, and then like captains would go like at the beginning of like some voyages. I think it was at one as kind of an honorary send the thing off, but I didn't get to like go. I was like, I don't get to go. No, we don't get to go. Where it was just like, we're gonna call the such and such a so and so, and the so and so and the such and such. I know some of you got languages that are all, well, as far as I'm concerned, they're all messed up. That's what I'm. We're gonna call it what we call it here. You call it port, we call it porter. It's like, oh yeah, Captain. CC Captain. Deet. Somebody did that. What the hell? Who the hell said that? What the heck? Low power essay. Soccer. Now, we can do this thing. There'll be something in sports about this, because I was talking about Terry Porter. There's basketball. You can look it up like right now of any like game that might be going on. It might not be a lot, but there might be something. Soccer's going to be doing stuff like this. It's up to you to look up this stuff. Oh, it's getting colder out here, and that's fine. Oh, I almost feel like I'm leaving her. Like I gave up or something. Jeez, that's terrible. I feel awful right now. I'm just like, what the heck are you doing? Oh, there was one time where I went off with I think it was the Paul Revere fellow. It may have been somebody else. Actually, drug me off to do something over here, and I was just like, I'd go like this, ever so slightly, when I was in the group with them, and I was just like trying to go back. I am like probably about this distance from the ship to like the wall, not the wall, the building and stuff over here of the harbor, and the ships like that. There's like another one like right there, and the Donald Rumsfeld ship's right next to it. And anyway, so let's see what I got here. Okay, yeah, and it was just like I was literally like inching like this, and they was, you stop doing that, okay? They're like, and I'd go like, and then I start doing like inches, instead of like this, I was doing like this, and they were like, what the heck are you doing? I was like, I'm trying to get closer to the ship just a little bit in case she calls or something. They were like, go see her. Damn it, what the hell's the matter with us? They were like, that's dedication, that's commitment. So, oh, I miss you, girls. I miss my whatever. Okay.